Time. Dear judges, the path to extraordinary is never easy. Welcome to Brussels. My name is Jaideep, and today I want to take you through the journey of what I believe is my vision on coffee. I firmly believe that by putting radical attention at origin, on roasting, and brewing, we can achieve an extraordinary coffee experience. Radical attention, of course, starts at origin. My coffee today is a blend of two geishas that are coming from two different terroirs and two different processing methods. My first coffee is a fully washed geisha coming from the farm La Gran Manzana, produced by Alejandro Morales in Guatemala. La Gran Manzana is a great example of how radical attention at origin can change the course of coffee. La Gran Manzana was acknowledged for their work last year by winning the Cup of Excellence by this very coffee. Fully ripe cherries were picked, sorted, and then immediately depulped and left to ferment in 72 hours in open tank. This takes the expressive geisha profile that we know and further accentuates the sweetness and the fruitiness. After which, the coffee is immediately washed and left to dry for 18 days in a greenhouse. This gives the coffee a long and lingering aftertaste. At 2,200 meters above sea level, the coffee cherries develop higher sweetness and higher florals. On the other side, my coffee is a natural anaerobic green tip geisha coming from Los Alpes in Panama, produced by Kai Jansen. Kai is known for being a pioneer in coffee and another great example of what radical attention can do at origin. Kai is producing some of the best geishas in the world. This specific lot, at 1,650 meters above sea level, was picked at the ripest stage and then immediately sorted, washed, and left to anaerobically ferment for 72 hours in grain pour bags. After which, the coffee was dried at a patio for 5 hours and then taken to a dark room with a dehumidifier. This slow drying helps the coffee receive a clean finish and a more even flavor distribution. The natural anaerobic process takes the geisha profile and adds a nice stone fruit, tropical fruit-like acidity. Both coffees are great expressions of geisha. I'm using today 13 grams of the La Gran Manzana geisha and 2 grams of the natural anaerobic geisha. This gives me the nice florals and stone fruit notes of the washed and the tropical fruit acidity of the natural anaerobic. Now judges, such intricate work at terroir deserves radical attention at roasting. We are roasting this coffee on a L200 Roost Ultra. We chose this roaster because we believe that it gives us enough consistency, precision to be able to control all the variables possible. We chose to focus on the development time of the coffee, giving us the right balance of sweetness, acidity, and florals. We roasted this coffee 10 days ago. Now, we can finally move to brewing. Judges, today I'm using the best of two worlds. I'm using percolation and immersion. For percolation, I'm using the new Hario V60 Neo. Has 72 ridges, allows us for a faster and more even drawdown. I'm pairing this with the Siberys paper filter. It helps me work on the acidity of the coffee. For immersion, I'm using the new Hario switch that helps me work on the texture and depth of the coffee. Together gives me a fully balanced, clean cup of coffee. Water is the second most ingredient in coffee. Today I'm using a 66 ppm water with the magnesium focus to bring out the fruity and stone fruit notes of the coffee. I have ground your coffee 5 minutes ago on the Lagom grinder. For my recipe today, I'm using 15 grams of coffee to 225 grams of water. I'm splitting my pours in 3 75 grams each pour, helping me achieve consistency. I'm starting with an 89-degree broom, helps me slowly release the aromatic compounds. I'm starting with an immersion phase for 1 minute, after which I let the coffee percolate for 15 seconds. After that, I go in with a 96-degree pour, helping me get the sweetness out of the coffee. At 2 minutes at immersion, I go in with my last pour, again at 89 degrees, helping me get a clean finish. I finally percolate the coffee at 3 minutes, and for a total drawdown of 3 minutes and 9 seconds. Now, dear judges, I will invite you to write the flavor notes of the coffee. Starting with the aroma, we have a medium intensity of peach, oolong, raspberry, and orange. Moving on to the flavors, we have a medium-high intensity. When hot and warm of peach, oolong, raspberry, and orange. Cooling down, we have raspberry, oolong, and apricot. We can move to the aftertaste. Will be long and lingering and medium in intensity. Will be reminding you of oolong and raspberry when hot and warm. And cooling down of tea-like. Talking about the acidity of the coffee, will be medium-high intensity and citrus-like. When hot and warm of orange, and cooling down to mandarin. We can move to the sweetness. Will be medium intensity. When hot and warm of peach, cooling down into ripe apricot. The mouthfeel is going to be medium weight and will be silky and tea-like. Dear judges, overall the coffee is incredibly complex and delicate. To evaluate the aroma today, I'm using a carafe with 2 micro ridges inside. This helps to add micro bubbles to better decipher your coffee when you evaluate the aroma. I will kindly ask you to swirl your coffee 5 times counterclockwise before assessing the aroma. And please wait to try the coffee after I've called my time. Please enjoy, and for you. Dear judges, before we finally try this amazing coffee, I would like to tell you a bit about my cups that I'm using today. Made with a local artist from Antwerp, closed bottom to help you trap the flavors, and an open mouth to let the flavors escape again. I will ask you to take a deep breath with me. Nice, isn't it? To be able to pay attention to what's in front of you. I'm very grateful that I had the opportunity to present my coffee with you today, because at the end of the day, this is what helps us understand the work done at Terroir transparently and proficiently. Please enjoy the cup of coffee. Time.
That was a competitor number 33.